Welcome back. Well, technically, I guess it was me that was out, so welcome back to me. Now, we're going to start back right where we left off, or where I left off. That way we don't have to talk yet about the midterms. So a lot of people around here are pretty smart. If there's a gotcha to be found in something that I said in the video, well, it's going to show up in the comments pretty quickly. Like, apparently I didn't name this coin in the last video that I flashed it in. This is a 2022 1-ounce gold dragon proof coin from the Perth Mint. And you might not be familiar with the coin since there were only 188 of them minted. That's why I wanted the coin. But let's come back to that rather than open up in the weeds, since the gotcha that I mentioned was actually more on the topic of turning gold to cash. Last week, I mentioned how a person with gold on hand would have access to cash faster than a person with all their money in a bank savings account. And a few people mentioned that in the event of a wide-scale bank run, local coin shops will run out of cash as well. And that is definitely possible. In the case of a widespread bank run, the rules would change. If you have gold, you have an option the person without gold does not. But it is a fair point. The local shops probably don't have an infinite amount of cash available. Now, I'm not really buying gold for things like bank runs, bail-ins, total economic collapse. I'm planning for more practical situations, and if the more serious issues come up, well, I'd have a few more options in those situations as well. But whatever the case, if I wanted $25,000 in cash in a day, I could see my banker for some of it and my local coin shop for the rest. Now, if there was a lot of activity happening, some kind of major event going on, well, I wanted to get a hold of that cash. Well, having eagles and buffaloes, that is the best chance to get a quick sale at a coin shop. This is simply what they want most, at least here in the United States. And that's why I've been mentioning my split on the types of gold that I have. Some of it is for quick needs, if it comes up, and then some of it's for fun. It really wasn't that long ago that all I had was eagles and then just a few other things. Lately, I've turned that around though. I'm buying fun stuff primarily, mostly because I feel like I have enough eagles. It's never enough, but I should have emergencies covered with what I have. Now, for the fun stuff, my local dealers, they really don't care about this double P-show here. They want the few coins all their customers want. That's eagles, buffaloes, maples, krugs. But at some point, I just don't care. Now, I won't have any trouble selling any of these myths and legends coins because I only have a few, but my local shops, they would buy them, but they would give me less, at least than I think they're worth, or, well, I know they're worth. And finding the right buyer, that takes time, so I can get them moved, but these are not for the type of quick conversion to cash that I was talking about last week. Now, the important part here is scale. Selling 3 ounces would probably get me enough to cover most personal emergencies, or at least subsidize it, and it just isn't hard to sell 3 ounces in a pinch and then walk away with cash. Every dealer, they are different, but I can tell you how my own sales have gone. Now, the first sale, it was a pile of random stuff, and calling that one sale, that's probably a stretch because it took me 8 or 9 stops just to get about 15 ounces moved. Maybe it was a little bit more than that, but I had a lot of old European gold and a few stubborn shop owners at the time, so those sales, they were difficult, but they were all paid in cash. Now, the second sale, that was a tube of eagles, and I had that one done inside of an hour. I got cash again, and there was an IRS form for anyone wondering, but I showed a loss in that sale, so no big deal. I've sold 3 ounces at a coin show. Again, all cash. And then the fourth and final time for me, I got a check. Now, that felt really strange, but I was clearing out a few coins that I didn't want, so it wasn't a big deal to me at the time. But I really should have walked on that deal. I could have just sent them to JM Bullion, taken a little bit more time, but I would have gotten a better deal. I was just a dummy. I thought that I was getting cash in this case because I always had. I should have asked. So getting a check for your sale kind of defeats the purpose of what we're talking about right now. You sell your gold to get some cash, but then you have to go to your bank to cash the check anyway. It's kind of a catch-22. So again, I don't work in absolutes. I plan in order to get a little bit more flexibility, and I don't go all in on any one thing. Like I said earlier, the gold that I have is divided into use cases. Those eagles, those buffaloes, they would be my quick needs coins, and then these myths and legends coins, well, they're for fun and possible appreciation. Same goes for anything that I have that isn't US Mint bullion. And that gets us to some specific fun stuff. Now, the Perth Mint releases most of their series coins at a very reasonable premium. My more recent Myths and Legends coins, or any of my Lunars, they are good examples because I'd probably get 2% less than an Eagle or a Buffalo at a local shop if I was to sell them back. So the spread, well, it's about the same assuming the coin shop wants them, because I can buy them for less than those Buffaloes and Eagles. So nothing here is really in a totally different category until you get to the truly collectible stuff. Now, I've shown my high relief Rooster, my high relief Tiger, both of those from the Perth Mint. Both of those have extremely limited mintage, and I would sell neither one of them. But I grabbed this year's 1 ounce gold Dragon Proof from the Perth Mint with a different idea in mind. And this has a mintage of 188 coins worldwide. And I feel like I was sleeping on past releases of these Dragon Proofs because they're really nice, but you have to jump on them immediately or you're paying crazy premiums from secondary market. This is the fourth in the series, by the way. I think the first and the second releases were a little bit nicer visually, but the Perth Mint always nails it. Now, these coins are not available at the moment. I'm guessing that AppMex will sneak a few back on at some point, but as far as the design goes, that's a Chinese dragon curling into a double number 8. That number 8, that's lucky in Chinese culture. This design, well, it's meant to be a symbol of fortune and prosperity, which, you know, is cool. I'll take whatever fortune and prosperity I can get a hold of, but I like the infinity symbolism as well, whether that was intentional or not. A premium on that coin, by the way, was 26%. I grabbed it within a few minutes of it being available, and if any more show up at the online dealers, it will just continue to go up, especially with spot price doing what it's doing. You wouldn't buy any of these for an emergency liquidation event, not the Lunars, not the Chinese Myths and Legends coins, and certainly not the Proof Dragons. I definitely didn't buy them for that. I bought them because I like them, and I think my kids will like them someday as well. Now, most of these have some kind of symbolism or a little bit of a story attached to them, some reason that I like them specifically, and some of them, I guess, well, they have a great big story, something that would make it impossible for me to sell, like the Rooster or like the Tiger. And also hard to get what they're worth, but I could still sell anything I have to a local shop if I had to. Now, all this talk about selling is really more about buying, how you buy right. And I'm not planning to sell anytime soon. I just don't want any surprises when or if I do. So that's what drives the first part of my stack. I also don't expect to ever have to sell everything I have. I don't think that I'll be racing to the local shops to get ahead of everyone else, and I'm not naive to the possible shortages of cash that the local coin shops might have, or even the possibility that if things get really bad, it won't be able to sell some of what I have. But in 99% of the likely situations, having gold available gives me more flexibility than not. There's no catch-22 there. If I need $8,000 or $9,000 in cash, I bet I could have it a lot faster by selling some gold than I could by running to the bank. It's pretty straightforward, really. So let's call it good there. Let us know what you think. Do you buy gold because you're expecting banks to fail, or are you buying more for practical and likely reasons? Let us know. And while you're in the comments, be sure to hit the like button if you found any of this interesting. Be sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on if you'd like to see more on the topic. And if you're still here, thanks again for watching. I always appreciate your time. Take care. Okay, one more thing. I have been out for almost 2 weeks now. A training injury, I guess, escalated into something much, much bigger. And it's going to take a little while to work through it, but I am back at it now. And I really appreciate you sticking around. So hug your family and take good care.